Hey everybody, Ryan from Rhino Hockey Channel here. Alright, gonna go over the New Jersey Devils season review today. I'm gonna be continuing this series, so I forget who was fifth worst. Or was it fourth worst? Fourth worst, sorry. New Jersey Devils, kinda like the Ducks, kinda got screwed out of a better draft position. But I'll get into that when we get into the video. Alright, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and make sure to hit that notification bell if you haven't done that already. That way you get notified when I drop new videos. Alright, let's get started with this New Jersey Devils season review. This is how their season went this year. They were 19-30-7 with 45 points. And they finished 29th out of 31 teams. So they should have had the third best odds for a draft pick. We'll get into that. Their power play was terrible, 14.2%. 28th out of 31 teams. And then their penalty kill was the worst in the league, 71%. I can see why they finished where they did. Goals for, they were 26th out of 31 teams with 2.59 average percent for goals for per game. And then 3.38 goals against per game for fourth worst in the entire league. Well, 4th out of 31, but the way they list it is the worst at the top, best at the bottom. So the higher you are in that one, the worse you are. All right, they scored 145 goals and allowed 189 goals against. So what is that? A 44 goal differential negative. You can definitely see why these teams so far have been at the bottom with those goal differentials. All right, key injuries this year. They had a bout with COVID, and that affected them for quite a bit. In the event of Mackenzie Blackwood, he was out for about a month, and it would be an additional month after he returned before he had a game where he allowed 2 or less goals in a game. Before COVID, he was having a spectacular season, and honestly, New Jersey was doing well, but meant he went down, and once he actually had COVID and came back, even he stated that his lung capacity was nowhere near what it should have been, and it affected his play, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get back to normal by next season, and they could be a team that threatens for a playoff spot. Then, of course, Nico Hischier, with that big new contract, unfortunately was injured at many points during the season. I believe he finished with less than 5 goals. Not what you expect from a guy making $7+ million. Granted, with injuries, that's just going to happen with injuries sometimes. But he's 22 and he's having the injuries he's having. That's a worrisome thing. I'll get into that when we get into contracts. Upcoming UFAs, you have Ryan Murray, who was actually a solid defender for him this year. Aaron Dell and Scott Wedgwood. I mean, Dell and Wedgwood had to take over when Blackwood was down and when Blackwood was struggling. And Wedgwood had a decent year, so, I mean, he could get a decent contract to be someone's backup. So, Dell, probably not. Ryan Murray will probably get a decent contract to play somewhere. He'll be a good, solid defender for someone, probably like a 4-5 defender. Upcoming RFAs, they have Jonas Siegenthaler. That is a fun name to say. Nick Merkley, Michael McLeod, Yanni Kuokkanen, and Yegor Sharangovich. Kuokkanen and Sharangovich and McLeod are definitely ones they want to focus on. Merkley probably as well. Siegenthaler, maybe. Honestly, Siegenthaler is not an offensive defender. He's one of those defenders that is quietly good, I guess, because I never notice him when he plays. Which, as a defender, can be a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because that means you're not making mistakes. 1. 2, you're not doing anything offensively, so it's kind of a bad thing too. But if you're not making mistakes, that's a definite positive as a defender. Especially if you're playing 5-6, where I believe he normally plays. I mean, with this team, he may be 3-4, but you never know. Alright, terrible contracts. Now, I know you can see it already. I'll get to Hischier in a minute. Just hold off on your yelling. PK Subban is the first and only real obvious bad contract, $9 million. Granted, it's only for this next season, so that's not the end of the world. But they definitely want that to go away, and I think he wants to go away because he is not playing the way he did with Montreal or Nashville. Granted, he is older. I believe he's 30, 4 now. So you expect a drop off at this point. But still, $9 million for this guy. Yikes. Nico Hischier. Now let's get into this. This could be a good contract or it could be a bad contract. Like it shows, $7.25 million per season through 2026-2027 season. If he goes through the season like he did this year, that contract is going to suck. And if he cannot recover from his injuries and he does not play up to par, that contract's going to suck. Bad. But he is only 22. If he fully recovers, that contract will be perfectly fine if he goes back to the way he played last year, 2 years ago, sorry. I mean, if he can average 50 plus points a year, that contract will be fine. No problems at all. But I only put it up there because I needed something. They didn't really have many, if any, bad contracts out in the Subban. So this one could be bad if the injuries affect him and they continue to affect him. But it could also be a very good contract too. So this one's more of a wait and see if it's a terrible contract. It's just, as of this season, it looks terrible. Kind of like Erik Karlsson for San Jose. It looks terrible because of the amount, but all it takes is one good season in those 8 seasons or 7 years that he signed for. One good season where they win a cup outweighs 6-7 bad years. That's what it could come down to. They win one, it doesn't matter. Oh well, who cares? Over and done with. Nobody's going to complain if they get a cup out of it, right? Alright, who wants out? I really couldn't find anybody that there were rumors wanted out, that really looked like they wanted out, other than maybe PK Subban. Because like I said, he's getting older. He does not have a cup, so he wants one of those. Understandable. I mean, you're older, you definitely want one, if you don't have it already. So he wants one. He's not going to get it with New Jersey this year for sure. So I can see him wanting out. All right, top scorer from this season and the top goalie. Pavel Zacha was their top scorer, 17 goals, 18 assists for 35 points. And Mackenzie Blackwood was 14, 17, and 4 with 902 save percentage and 304 goals against average. Now, the win-loss ratio on a team that was third worst in the league, that's pretty dang good, honestly. And he played really well. And I think he got a lot of those wins at the beginning of the year before he got hit with COVID, because the save percentage and goals against average was better before COVID. After COVID, he was not the same goalie until the tail end of the season again, when he started to look like that goalie from before COVID again. So, like I said, hopefully he gets better, because if he does, he's going to be a beast of a goaltender, as long as there's no long-term effects for him from the COVID. All right, upcoming draft. They have the number 4 overall pick. Now, they kind of got screwed here, because the league gave Seattle the same percentage chance to get the first, second overall pick as the New Jersey Devils at 10.2%. Now, they technically put Seattle at 3rd instead of the New Jersey Devils, who were placed at 4th, technically. And, of course, as we all know, Seattle moved up to 2, Anaheim to 3, and New Jersey stayed at 4. Kind of got screwed at 3rd overall, but with this draft, you never know what you're gonna. You don't know what you're gonna get. Honestly, it's not a great draft, so it may not be that bad. So we'll see who they get. All right, they do have the New York Islanders first round pick, which right now is undecided because they won Game 6 yesterday, forcing a Game 7 in Tampa. So look forward to that game tomorrow. And right now it could fall anywhere between 29 and 32. Then New Jersey Islanders second round pick as well that they got from the same trade, the Zajac and Palmieri trade. That will fall anywhere between 61 and 64. Now, they also have picks 68, 75, 100, 129, 164, and 203. So, definitely that number 4 overall is going to be their best chance at a really good pick, but you never know. Teams have found guys at the tail end of the draft, at the middle. You never know what you're going to get. All right, for their future outlook, I can see this team being competitive for a playoff spot in 3 or 4 seasons consistently. I can see them competing if they are healthy and add some more talent, like some more offensive guys to help out in the scoring area especially. And they need to pick up some penalty killers. That is big right there. Or they need to bring some up from the minors if they are ready. So if they can do that, this team can be consistently competitive for a playoff spot within 3 or 4 seasons. I can see them competing for a spot as early as next year if they can get those pieces. And if you look at teams like Tampa, they're cash strapped, and they have guys like Goodrow and Blake Coleman, who are both free agents out there this year. They could sign one of those. I mean, Coleman, they already know. Bring him back. What the heck, right? They need that penalty killing help is what they need most. So getting that could definitely improve this team's chances next year. All right, that's all I got for you for New Jersey this season review. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and make sure to hit that notification bell if you had not done so already so you get notified when I drop a new video. And other than that, make sure to comment what you think of their chances in the next few years. Who do you think they're going to draft? Whatever you want to talk about New Jersey related if you're a New Jersey fan. All right. Other than that, I will see you on next video. Bye, everybody.